Oh hi, I'm Rayford, and thank you for joining me for some patch notes. We got the patch notes for Paragon patch version 38.1 today, and I thought we'd go ahead and dive in and take a look and see what we're getting. This patch is going to drop on the 28th of February. For those that were not in the know, now you know. I just want to say this really quick. If you guys like this video, hit that like button down below. It helps me out a great deal. Maybe leave a comment, let me know what you're excited about in this patch, and maybe just consider subscribing. You will get quality noobery delivered straight to your brain via the internet and your eyes and possibly your ears. Now let's dive in. Item number 1, we're getting instant replays. So this is something actually I've been hoping that we get to see here in Paragon for quite a while, and I've been kind of keeping that opinion to myself. Really, it's just anytime you die, you get a couple of second little clip that leads up to the moment of your death, and then slightly thereafter, just kind of shows you, what misplays might have happened or how somebody might have outplayed you a bit. They kind of show how you died. I know it kind of sucks, seeing the moments leading up to your demise and everything. But hopefully this will help you sort of learn from your mistakes, maybe be a better player. I know that I would greatly appreciate it, and I've seen this implemented in games before, like with Titanfall. I think Call of Duty has it. I'm pretty sure Battlefield has it. But I've seen it implemented pretty well there, and I think that it actually worked out pretty well here in Paragon. So here's looking forward to that. This is going to be on by default, but you can turn it off. Next up, we're getting a small change to the loot boxes. They're going to be switching out the Blue Freak and Green Freak Murdoch Ultra Rare skins for the Glacierborn and Copper Beast Rampage skins. And I gotta tell you, these things look sick. I'll throw an image up on the screen right now, in fact, if you want to go ahead and see them. Additionally, we're actually getting a couple of emotes. One for Howitzer. It's called Shoot This. And it is fantastic. Oh my. Yeah, let's see if I can't throw this up on the screen as well, but I gotta tell you, this one is rad. I might consider playing Howie if I get this. Additionally, we're also getting a Kwong swordsman style emote, though unfortunately there's no preview for that guy, but again, more emotes are nice. Lets you kind of show yourself as a player. I don't see enough people actually using emotes in the game. It kind of makes me sad. I was fortunate enough to get a Sparrow emotes, her little handstand thing, and I like showing it off, and nobody else ever has emotes. It makes me sad. So if you guys get an emote, dude, consider spamming those in the game, at least early on in the match, when you're kind of facing off against your opponent in lane. Throw it out there, Next up, we're getting a small change to AI when you're playing either against or with AI. Bots should no longer try to move into active enemy towers range while retreating. Apparently this was a thing, so GG bots. And then additionally, there's a fix for the Kwong bot throwing his sword underneath the map, which just sounds like hackery to me, just elite hacks. Next up, the weekly card packs are also rotating. This week, we're getting Spiked Bone Plate, the Lazarus Blade, and the Burst Engine. So super good advice here for you guys. Buy a bunch of these weekly card packs and then dismantle that Lazarus Blade. It's like an epic common card, and I don't know about you guys, but I've got a ton of all the other materials except for the universal cards, which I just cannot seem to get enough of those materials. So buying this and then dismantling that Lazarus Blade will get you all kinds of common materials, and who doesn't like that? Everybody. Everybody wants common materials. That's who. Next up, if you've seen any of my Paragon videos or some of my streaming, I like to play Bellica. I like to play Bellica a lot. In fact, she's probably the next character I'm going to get a mastery on. And she is getting what looks like a pretty decent little buff here. So let's dive into this. Her Void Bomb has its range increased from 900 to 1300 units. So now I know it's kind of tough to get a feel for how far things are in Paragon, but essentially it's getting an increase from where it is now, which is, I feel like, kind of a paltry little distance, and it's not very far at all. Basically, in order to bomb somebody, you need to move into almost melee range of most melee heroes, which sucks. And it's being increased to standard ranged range. Now, let me rephrase that. Bellica is a ranged hero, so essentially, if you can shoot somebody, you can throw the Void Bomb on them. That's how much further it's being increased. So it's essentially a 50% buff in range, which I feel like is nice and healthy. This way she doesn't have to move in closer and really potentially subjugate herself to ganks or another enemy hero's ability to jump on her. Yeah, I feel like this is a huge change, and this is actually something that's been well deserved. I think she needs this. Additionally, Seismic Assault has a couple of buffs coming to it. So first off, it's going to activate 0.2 seconds faster. I know that doesn't sound like very fast, but it already activates pretty quickly. This is obviously nearly a quarter of a second. It just activates more quickly. And it also moves 50% faster. So it already moves pretty quickly. Unless you're at the very far edge of it, then odds are you're going to get hit by this. And now it moves 50% more quickly. So GG trying to avoid that. Third, her Void Drone. Now, before it used to drain mana at a fixed rate, and it still does, but it's now based on a percentage of the enemy hero's max mana. So if you're an enemy caster, this is going to hurt you a lot. It's being changed from, again, like a fixed number to a percentage. So when you unlock it, it's 2%, then it'll go 3, 4, and 5% of the max mana. So even if an enemy hero has, say, 1,000 mana, that's essentially 50 mana per second at max rank that you're losing. It's huge. So I love it. She's an excellent anti-caster now. And now finally her last change to her Neural Disruptor. And this is, I think, the biggest change to her. All these are pretty big, but I feel like this one might be the biggest. We'll have to get her in game and kind of see how she plays, just to kind of get a feel for it. But now the ability scales with card power. It didn't before. And each point of power increases the base multiplier by 0.15%. So even if you have something like 180 card power built into her deck at 60 card points, that's a lot of power. Essentially, it's it's a lot of power. And then additionally, the base multiplier has been decreased a tiny bit. So when you unlock it, it was 0.8, and then at rank 2 it was 1.0, and then at rank 3 it was 1.2. Now the multiplier has been reduced to 0.7, 0.8, and 0.9. But I think that the card point buff, or the scaling with card power, is going to like really overcome that quite a bit. So again, we're going to get her in game and try and figure out just how much this affects her. I might need to rework my Bellica build just to see how this, or just kind of based on these changes. And then they're also doing some visual face effects polishing. Moving on, we have Greystone. Polish and bug fix. Greystone's Dragon Collar will now correctly show when his ultimate is ready. I did not know that. Howitzer, again, he's getting a new emote. Kwang, also getting a new emote. Richter, he has a bug where his chain would remain visible after casting Riplash. Unfortunately, I never see Richter enough in game to notice that this was a bug. So that's cool, I guess, for those that like to play Richter. Shinbi, she is getting a couple of bug fixes and whatnot. First off is they fixed a bug in which Clearheart wasn't granting increased healing on Circle Rhythm. So I think it's just more healing, really, for Shinbi when she casts her Circle Rhythm. They're also fixing Circle Rhythm's audio not playing when you're moving in from out of range. So say like you're fighting somebody, you know, like you're going all in on this enemy Gideon or whatever, and then all of a sudden Shinbi comes in range. If she had casted Circle Rhythm out of range and then moved in, you wouldn't actually hear Circle Rhythm be active. So they're fixing that. And then there's also some visual errors on her legs that they're fixing. And now another huge one. My poor man Steel here. He's getting kind of a nerf, but I think it's okay. I mean, this will bring him in line with everybody else, I think, because right now his Shield Slam, the thing that's getting nerfed, is strong. They're reducing the range to 900 units from 1500, so basically Bellica's old Void Drone range. They're also reducing the radius of his Shield Slam from 500 units to 450. This is relatively small. It's like a 10% decrease. It's still going to just be just as powerful. It just means that if you're a Steel player, you got to be a little bit more precise. No longer just kind of throwing this thing super far and then kind of willy-nilly and then knowing you're going to hit a bunch of people. So that I feel like is a decent little change. Again, it's a bummer they're kind of nerfing him, but at the same time, I think that it does bring him a bit more in line with everybody else. And then next up, some team comms. They're fixed an issue. We're using the Attack Raptors and Attack OP. Team comms didn't ping the respective targets, and they improved the field of vision and resolutions with aspect ratios less than 16:9. So just kind of minor stuff there with the UI. Mostly bug fixes. Again, pretty decent changes to Steel and Bellica, card pack stuff, a couple of new emotes. Again, that Howitzer one is that's just wonderful. I love Howitzer. Just because of this. Oh my. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Again, if you did, hit that like button down below. Leave a comment, say hey, say what's up, say what's up right back. And please don't forget to subscribe, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Okay, thanks. Bye.